Remember, the first thing is your tithes and offerings. God will open the windows of heaven for you, pay your tithes and offering. And second, Proverbs 22:7 talks about borrowers and lenders. It says the borrower is tail to the lender, or the borrower is actually a slave to the lender, is what it basically says. So going with that, and of course, budget, oh no. Nobody wants to talk about a budget. Sayings, you can't spend more than you make. Why? Because you go bankrupt. Live under your means. You can't spend more. You can't spend tomorrow's wages for today's pleasures. Save some of today's wages for tomorrow's pleasures. And Ben Franklin said, a penny earned is a penny saved. And that is a true saying. And we talk a little bit about emergency funds, how we develop an emergency fund. We actually can't develop an emergency fund till you know where your money's going. That consists of liquid money. Now, our emergency fund is actually our checking account. That's the way we do our emergency fund. We set it up pretty much on a year basis, and that's the way we work. So that's the way we do our emergency fund. We went over Rule 72. That's doubling your money. 72 divided by the interest rate you receive. That's how long it takes to double your money. And we went over this, which is how compounding interest works. And it's amazing how compounding interest works. And we went over pre-tax, after-tax, Roth IRAs, and brokerage companies. Okay, let me get to where I'm going with my notes here now. They're somewhere here, but give me a little time. And there's one. There's two. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. Famous words, Al Williams, 1970s, insurance magnate, multimillionaire. He said, when you set a goal, you don't have to hit a home run. You can do it a little bit at a time, and that's why you get your, that's why you build, inch by inch. It's not always hitting a home run. I'd like to be able to invest and get buy something for a nickel and get $20 for it. You know, I'd love it, but that doesn't happen very often. So, a little bit at a time. And remember last week we said, if we don't know where we're spending our money, how can we control it? To set a budget, you have to know basically where your money is going. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can take a pocket notebook, write down how much you spend and what for. And you do it for a month to 2 months. You can keep all your receipts and do it at the end of the month, you know, sort it out. Be able to tell where your money's actually going. And sometimes you have to do it for 2 months. A budget helps you know where money is going. And notice page 3 on the budget, we have an excess income of $543 on page 3. If after you fix a budget and it shows excess income, but at the end of the month, you don't have any, you have to go back and redo your budget again. The way I set this up on page 1 there is income. And I do things in a yearly range, page 1 to 3, in a yearly range. And if you'll notice, I've got the incomes listed here. Income one, income 2, and income 3. Income 1, your main income. Income 2 might be your spouse's income. Income 3 is extra money that you make. And everybody has means of making extra money. It's not, you're not locked into a fixed budget, especially the younger people. Now, when you get up here our age, it's not so easy doing, unless you want to get up and work. Who's that? Who was that?
She just doesn't
I was looking, it's harder to make money when you get up our age.
You're right.
It's very hard to make extra money. There is ways, but it's very hard, and you have to be willing, especially if you have medical problems and you have health problems. You can't hardly do it. So you gotta be real good with your money and how you handle your money. In this, we have, the yearly income, $57,841. And we average that out to a monthly income, $48.20. So that's 4,200, page 1 of 3. That's we have $4,820 on average. And I do a lot of work on averages. You can do monthly, or you can do an average. It depends on where you have the extra income coming in. Okay, you look on yearly bills here, and these are yearly bills that come once a month and once a year. You're going to have property taxes, possibly income taxes, house insurance, car tags. Anybody else got any more they can add to that? Yearly. And we got to always look at her yearly too, especially in setting a budget up. In page 3 of 3, okay, we got a monthly income of $4,220, and our monthly bills come to $3,006, and our yearly bills divided by 12 come to $320, and our unplanned comes to $950, which leaves us a excess income $543. And that's page 3 of 3. Now, unplanned, I'll go back to unplanned just a minute. It's page 2 of 3. Unplanned, that's an estimate. But everybody's got them, so you might as well plan for it. Such as doctor bills, and you got some doctor bills in your monthly, but this is unplanned. Car repairs, always there. You're not for sure, but good possibility they're going to be there. Oil changes. You drive a car, you got to change oil.
Hot water heater breaks down.
Pardon?
Hot water heater breaks down.
Water heaters, different
Water
things like that.
heater,
He's got home
Appliances.
repairs.
Yeah.
ambulance trips to the hospital you're not prepared for.
Yeah. Car tires, good possibility you're gonna have to put car tires on. Clothes.
Me.
Clothes, some of us is going, $1,000 ain't nothing compared to some of us.
I bought a top today and it cost me $2.
Okay.
This was you.
Belts.
Okay.
Belt? Wow.
Belt.
Okay. Home and appliance repairs. That's always gonna be, you talk about water heaters, air conditioners, it's gonna be there. And put $2,500 in that, cause that's very conservative. Sometimes it's gonna be $5,000.
That's what they charge you to fix it.
Yeah.
Labor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Vacations. Everybody wants to go on vacation, so why not plan for it? $3,000, your budget might say $6,000 or $10,000, or it might say $1,000.
You may say no vacation.
You
may say no vacation.
Yeah, no vacation, put $0 down.
Yeah.
But most people won't go on a vacation.
Not this year.
Huh?
Not this year, she said.
So, and hobbies. Now, hobbies can be expensive in a way. Ellen has a hobby of quilting. I don't know if that's a good estimate, $2,000, but it might be. So, hobbies can be expensive.
Yeah, if she sold
You
it,
don't
she
know
could make a
everything.
profit.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
She could sell them and make a profit.
Yes, that could be part of income three,
Worth
making
what it's worth.
that little extra money.
I thought about it.
People pay good money for them.
Okay,
Think about that.
debt reduction. Now, I've listed 5 bills here. This is on page 0. Don't have a listing on it. Okay, we got a car payment, and these are in our monthly bills also. Got $534, and you got Dr. Casey, $50. Credit card Visa, we got paying $50. Credit card MasterCard, we're paying $60, and mortgage, we're paying $700. You look at the big picture here, big picture. In our emergency fund, we got $3,861. That's approximately 3 weeks in our emergency fund. And excess income, $543. And I got a question here. How do we use our excess monthly income? Which bill do we start paying off first? And pay attention to our emergency fund and our yearly bills. Note due dates. Okay, that question is for Yuns. Look at this budget. It's not your budget, it's a mock budget, so where do we use our emergency funds?
I would pay off the small bill, then work my way up.
Okay. Question, look at your small bills interest.
Do not, no, it's just a water bill.
Oh, oh, yeah, that's out of your budget. Yeah, I'm looking at my budget, this mock budget here.
Well, you
Notice the
pay
interest.
off the highest interest one first if you can. I mean, you want to start there.
That'd be your
I
car
would.
payment, house
Uh-huh.
That's
payment,
it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Get
Yeah.
the higher interest.
Even though a lot of the gurus say pay off the smallest first, but if your smallest is not charging no interest,
Exactly.
Yeah.
most doctors don't charge you interest,
Right, yeah.
and you're making a payment, and that's what they've agreed to
Right.
accept, then why mess with it? It's not eating you alive.
That's why they get $10 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, credit card Visa, 17.2% interest. That is eating you alive.
I don't have none.
You're fortunate.
You got a car
Many
payment.
people do, and they're carrying a big credit card balance.
That car payment will get you.
So if we pay that off, if we're using, okay, how would we, first, let's go back to this excess monthly income. How are we gonna use that? Are we gonna use it to pay a bill, or are we gonna increase our emergency fund, or are we gonna do both? That's a good question. Looking at, we got these big bills coming due in February, $2,600, and our emergency fund is sitting at $3,800. So that's gonna drag our emergency fund down pretty bad. So, it's using your head to focus what you want to do. And I'm not saying what you say is wrong or right. That's really not the question. It's to have an ideal of what you're actually doing and what you want to do. Do you want to drag your emergency fund down to $1,000? That's dangerous. So we could use, say, $250 for emergency fund, and we could use the other $293 for paying this Visa card. So, and remember, if you put anything extra on that, you need to start from your previous balance and not your ending balance. So if you've used it, you need to drop it down. So that's the way you'd handle that. And then after we get that, and we're paying $50 on our monthly bills, and we knock it out, okay, that's $100. We got $100 that we can use going forward, plus our excess income. So then we start on this 15% interest, which is eating you alive too.
Mhm.
So, credit cards are not a good thing. The way we handle credit cards, we use it all the time. At the end of the month, we pay it off, regardless.
Yeah.
That's the way we handle credit cards. And we use credit cards for the simple fact it's convenient. But you always gotta pay them off. That's why you're not paying no interest, and you're actually, they're actually paying you to use their card. In all
You don't
reality.
have
Huh?
none. You don't have none. She said that's good for her.
But I'm sure, Teresa and, Thomas got one. I know I've got one. Thomas, you got a credit card?
Several of them.
Several
of them.
They're big. Guys, I want to remind everybody that we're talking tonight not just to the people that are in this room, but the people that are watching the video. And so some of them, if they have a credit card with high interest rate, just think about how much we're spending every month to service that debt.
Yes.
They're charging us not only for the purchase, but for the privilege of borrowing the money from them. And so we got to pay that down.
17% interest is high interest. High interest. I wish I could
Some
make
of 'em
that.
higher than
I mean,
that.
I wish I could make it all the time. I could, let's say, double your money every 6 years
Pay on time. and
instead of every 12 years. Or it'd be more than that, wouldn't it? It'd be every 5 years or so.
There's your
Rough
phone.
one, Minnie.
That's just cards.
Okay.
So, let me get a consensus here. How would you use that extra $543?
On that vacation.
Okay, vacation.
That'd be good.
Justin, what do you think?
In terms of credit cards, am I using them?
You got credit card?
No.
Okay, you'd use it for this hot budget. Yeah,
Yeah, if this was your budget, what would you use it on? What would you use the excess on?
The excess, probably, probably towards the credit card.
okay.
Yeah, right.
Good idea.
Good job.
That's great.
What do you say?
The quick
Send
They
it
come in handy whenever you need it real quick.
Uh-huh.
They
So
pay it back is what's killing you.
Yeah. Okay.
We had a Sears card. That was our first one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was awful. We had very little money, but we wanted a stereo. We got that thing. It was $400 something. It took us about 10 years to pay that stereo. 21% interest back a long time ago. And we paid just the minimum.
Minimum.
That's all we could pay. Took us, how many, 20 years? About 20, 21 years. Finally, we got the money and paid the whole thing.
Of course.
I charge you
Year,
just about
probably
as much
10
as
times
credit
the
cards do.
Yes.
So you're,
Depending.
so you
depending
have,
on
a-
how-
so you have a
We probably
$50,000 stereo.
Yeah, it probably cost us about 10,000. For $495.
And Betty's gonna use it for vacation, so we'll leave her out.
I'd love it.
I can't remember your name.
Shirley.
What would you use it for? Looking at this mock budget.
I'm good because Nova Scotia Scott's Golly Day. The Curse of Oak Island, where they're trying to find that treasure, I'd go there.
Yeah.
So
That's
she'll
right,
take a
right now.
vacation.
That's a vacation.
No,
Good
vacation.
You're gonna use it for vacation.
I'd have to.
Okay. Thomas?
I would have to apply it to the higher interest credit card.
Huh?
I would have to apply it to the higher interest credit card.
Would you? Teresa?
I would divide them. I would put some towards both of the two higher ones, the 1720 and the 15.5. I would put some towards those, and then still maybe put a little bit towards the emergency fund. Split up that way.
That's, that's.
That way, I would have
Yeah.
a little bit each month. If there's excess, I would have still some going towards the emergency fund, but still applying some to the other.
I would like to say one thing about that.
Okay.
Whenever you get down and out, God always comes through for you.
He does. He always does.
He always sees that you have extra money for, so you can get by.
And of course, we could all apply more towards our tithes,
Yeah.
Pastor.
That's, but this has got a 10%, tithes and
Yeah,
offerings. in it,
right.
so-
But you can always put
Oh,
more.
yeah, you put more in it.
Oh, yeah. And, that's the guy that owned Chick-fil-A started putting 10% in.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think he puts 90% in,
Right.
keeps 10%
Mhm.
towards the church and church services. But that's I don't know if I'll ever get to that point.
No, I won't.
That means
You
I've
don't
got to
know
have a
that.
tremendous
Never
amount of
know,
income
never know.
coming in.
That's true.
Heard music pays well. Heard music pays well, so you never know when you could get to that point.
Yeah. Anyway, this just gives you an idea. All a budget is a tool to let you know where your money's going. To furnish a budget, you have to know where your money's going. Okay? If
When you're on a budget, you know where your money's going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
First, you gotta determine, well, how much am I spending down at Taco Bell every month? How-
That's why I went to work part-time, so I can have that extra money that I don't have to explain.
Okay.
That's my play money.
That's your play money.
Putting money in, but the bill money don't get touched.
Mm-hmm.
That's bill money,
I first and the bill money second.
savings account for that
Spend money.
emergency
So
rain
she
day.
can go get her a taco,
Spend
right,
money.
Betty?
I do like Taco Bell.
Well, I had an interesting, I had, well, I didn't have any money with me. I had some pocket change.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good choice whether I bought me a nacho, not a nacho, but a burrito XL Supreme or a chicken Supreme burrito or a bean burrito. I ended up getting the bean burrito because I didn't want to count out $6 in change. But the bean burrito filled me up and I saved $5 and
You had
something.
enough to get a drink?
Well, I had my drink.
Okay.
Drank
You
coffee.
saved that?
And that was for breakfast, by the way. But you make a choice, you know, when you go something, you don't have to go for the top. You can go for something that you enjoy. I enjoy bean burritos.
So I try to explain to Cindy and them, I don't have to buy it because it's there.
Uh-huh.
They fuss at me because I'm tightwad,
Right.
okay? And if I don't need it, I'm not gonna go buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I've been spending money for the past few months because I've been picking up good sales for Christmas presents and birthday for next year. But I'll be saving next year because I may not be working next year.
Right.
So I got everybody a gift.
That's good.
Might
A lady
cost
told me
$2.
last week, she said for the first time that she can remember, she bought Christmas and did not put it on credit.
That's great.
That's it.
She said it's the first time, and she's proud of it. I'll tell you right now, she's proud of it.
I paid cash for my stuff and I'm proud of it.
I got Christmas and I didn't put any on credit cards either.
We did the same thing.
Example, I know a couple that's making $200,000 a year. They went back, got their income tax, or well, actually was filling out income tax, and they had to ask, where did our money go?
Exactly.
They didn't have hardly anything to show for it. That's how wasteful. Of course, they did pay most of their house off. They got rid of a lot of their bills, but still, they did not know where their money went.
That's a shame.
That is a shame, but it also was a wake-up call for them. She said, I'm gonna know where my money's going now. So she's starting to look at it and she's starting to invest. So she's gonna know where her money's going. She hasn't exactly started yet, but she will. Extra income, people don't think that they make extra income, but you make extra income from, just doing odd jobs, extra work. You can always make a little extra income. Income tax. I have saw people get $3,000 and $4,000 on income tax and spend it the next day. Go straight to Walmart and buy whatever they want to and just waste their whole income tax refund. And it's common. You'd be amazed. You notice the income tax, you notice how many people down at Walmart? Now, it's just common sense stuff. Side jobs, sell of aluminum cans. You drank aluminum cans at your house, you can put them back and save them. Copper, sometimes copper,
We done that.
scrap
Yeah,
steels, batteries, old batteries, if you run across them, and buy and sell coppers. If you're a good horse trader, good
Danny
record
does
income.
that, or did that.
Do any of you know how to make extra money? I mean, what's your story on extra money?
Yard sale.
Horse sales, okay?
Yard sale don't make much money though. You
Okay.
spend more of it. You spend, if you can get some good stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a degree in anything, go to clean people's houses up.
Sure.
When
Make
they
good money
move,
there.
clean their houses up and find their junk they left behind. They don't want, and you sell it at yard sale.
Yep, selling yard sales. I got enough stuff to run a yard sale for a good while right now.
I have enough.
Ellen is a clothes holic. She has an extreme amount of clothes. Of course, I do too, but I'm getting rid of some of mine.
Thanks.
And it's yard sale.
Anyway, this about does it. It was interesting having his comments, and this will be going out, and people can think about it. And these are available. I've got several extra copies if you need it. Set your own budget up. Of course, you may have to do the. Go ahead, man.
I was thinking about those people that been out of work.
Uh-huh.
Some of them was wise, and they saved. I always heard you always keep at least 2 months of your bills in the bank. Always keep that ahead, because you never know. And I don't know, some of those people were suffering, some didn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
But some people just don't think anything's gonna happen to them. They
Yeah.
don't have a job forever.
That's the trouble with America. They don't think anything's ever going to happen. Everything's going to stay status quo. It ain't.
Spoiled brat.
I wish we could, like you impeach a president, you impeach anybody. If the politicians don't do their job, I wish we could get them out of office. Just vote and say, out of office. They're not doing your
Well, I
job.
come up with a plan. I'm gonna run for something. If it's running my mouth. But they want to take the Constitution, destroy that. They wanted to take money off. They want to change this and change that. Okay, we'll change it. We'll change the way you get your paycheck and your bonuses and all your little tricks you know. If you don't do the job, you can be fired. We will fire you that day if you don't do your job. You ain't gonna sit there the rest of your life and draw a paycheck off the people who is working.
Our congressmen and our senators and stuff, they made laws. Since you are able to make your own laws and stuff,
Exactly.
you have your own personal medical, whatever they call it, special things,
package.
right? Package.
Benefit package.
They don't have to go out to doctors like we do. They have their own personal doctors that even go to their house.
See, that can be changed.
And it's
Yeah.
all paid for.
They try to push healthcare and medical stuff on us, but they have the best packages when they come
'Cause
and
they
they
made
pass
it.
the laws, but they will pass laws on us that's not fair.
Yeah.
They can break all the laws as long as it's not a felony.
See, all our problems we rest in the White House, not with Trump, but with the people who don't know what they're doing.
Well, you look at the big picture in America.
They don't let people know what they're doing.
I'm going to discuss it a little. Big picture in America. If American government would live within its means, or not spend more money than what they take in, then they wouldn't be this big problem of what we're facing. And sooner or later, the Piper's music is going to be due. And it's going to be a rough go, but that's all I want to say about that. You cannot spend more than you make. If I spend more than I make, I'm going bankrupt. Government spends more than it makes, sooner or later, it's going to go bankrupt.
The people will.
Yeah, people.
Because there's-
Actually, every
there's
person
still
in America right now owes $68,000, including the babies, to the national debt. So,
You know what? Democrats shouldn't be aborting those babies. They're going to be the taxpayers in the future. You would think they would care. But no, they want the people coming over the wall to come over to the United States. and become the new Democrats.
They are.
No disrespect to people that are Democrats in here, I'm praying for you.
I'm not gonna get in political ties.
No, we shouldn't because it gets hot in here because I get mad.
But,
She get, yeah.
I get mad.
anyway, thank you for your input. Keep in mind, you know, what the big picture is on your budget. Start figuring out if you're having problems with your money. Start figuring out where your money's going. And if you don't know where your money's going, you can't control it. Use a pocket notebook, write down everything you spend for a month or two. Take all your receipts, take them home. You can do them at the end of the month. You know what you're spending your money on. And that way you can set a budget.
You know, when I made my car payment,
Uh-huh.
my other car, I made the payments, and every time I made the payments, I always give them extra, $10, $15 more. But now I have direct, they take it out directly, and I don't pay it off because I figured the car's gonna outlive me. So why should I spend extra money given to the car when that car's gonna be here when I'm gone?
Feel that way. Do it that way, just,
Let's
I'm just-
hope the Lord bless you with extra life.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll
Pastor, you
get.
said you want to go over some things?
Yeah, I
Oh,
do.
yeah.
I want to ask some questions. What I'd like to do, Randy, is interview you. Come
Okay.
back up here so our camera can see you. And let's take a look at each one of these pages on the budget that you gave us.
Okay.
So on the first page, it's 12 columns going, let's see, going vertically, and 3 columns horizontally. And the 3 columns, the 3 horizontal columns, it's labeled income 1, income 2, income 3. Okay, so tell us what that is. Is that a person that gets paid 3 times? So is that 3 paychecks?
Well, I'm looking at a husband and wife,
Okay,
first thing. And the third one, I'm looking at extra money. Now, in retirees, you're looking at income 1. Income 1 would be your social security check. Income 2, your pensions, if
Okay.
any. And income 3, maybe your investments coming out of your 401, your IRA or 401k.
okay,
So,
okay.
you know, you've always got a chance of making extra money somewhere.
Okay, so the 12 going down or going vertically, that's 12 months in the year,
Yes,
right?
yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
And then income 1 is social security, income 2 is
Pensions,
pension, and income 3 is extra money?
extra money come out of
Okay.
your IRA or 401k.
Okay, so this is all the income for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're watching the video, we want you to be taking a look at the attachment we sent you by email, and so look at the first page, and that's what we're calling income. You can see at the bottom it says total income, which is just all of those numbers added, all the numbers in the columns added, then your total yearly income. And then you see at the bottom, average monthly income. So you're averaging that amount, 4,820 and 8 cents. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So everybody sees, if everyone sees that, then let's move on to the next page. Okay. So now here are the categories of what this pretend person, or in this mock budget, we're pretending like this is your budget and this is your income. Now, pretend like these are your expenses. You can see over in the extreme right-hand column, there's the due date. That's always good to know. You can see your yearly bills, and Randy talked about that a little bit earlier. Then you can see your monthly bills. So make sure there's a difference there in your yearly bills and your monthly bills. And then the third column, which is unplanned estimate, you can see that at the bottom of the page. Those are all the things he talked about: doctor bills, car repairs, clothing, hobbies, and other things. So now this is this is making up categories for everything that you could possibly spend money on. Okay, so just think about that, look at that, and ask yourself: is there anything else I spend money on? Would I need any more categories if this were my budget? Randy, do you want to say anything more about that, or did I cover it
No,
pretty good?
pretty much covering it. Everybody's got bills. They know where, most people know their bills, but they don't know where they're spending money.
Right, right.
So,
And they may have for different things too, other
Oh, yeah.
things, a lot of things.
Yeah. They may be more concentrated, it could be less concentrated, depending on, what your actual bills are, so.
So now, if you're watching the video, go to the third page then, and this is the one that starts at the top, debt reduction. This is the third page, debt reduction. All right, so now what we're looking at here are some categories like car payment, Dr. Casey, I think that's what that says.
Yeah, Dr. Casey.
Credit card, Visa, credit card, MasterCard, and mortgage. And we spent a lot of time talking about those interest rates. Now, we want you to look over in the extreme right-hand column. That's where the interest rates are. So you see, for example, the credit card Visa, under the interest rate, it says 17.20%, right? So now that's a lot of percents. In other words, that's a lot of interest that we're paying on the privilege of borrowing that money, and we're paying it over and over and over again. So what we're saying is that it would be really smart to take any extra money once we free up some money and apply it to that debt that's going to keep on growing unless we make it go down the other way. Does that sound right?
That's correct.
Okay. So now in column number 1, we're still under debt reduction. You've got your current monthly payment. For example, the car payment is always going to be at least $534.89. And you can see the Dr. Casey bill and the other bills. Then the total due there, that's how much you owe on that to that entire vendor. And vendor is just a word for who you owe money to.
Yeah.
So you can see like the car payment people, let's say you owe that at SunTrust Bank, that is going to be $20,000. And then the credit card, MasterCard, $2,500 at 15.5%. So you see that debt's going to keep on growing. And if we just pay the minimum payment, it will take forever if we even live long enough to pay that off. And if we don't, then that's going to be less that our heirs get out of our estate, which is kind of what happens to our money after we go see Jesus. So just you want to try to make sure that you save money. That would be ideal, save money for your heirs. So you'd like to end up in the black and not in the red. So you want to try to get those debts down. If you're married, you don't want your spouse to suddenly wake up and go, wow, I didn't know I have that much debt. So you want to try to get that down. So now under big picture, we're still on the third page. Big picture, the emergency fund, this says that you would probably want at least 3 weeks. Some of the gurus, as we call them, say that you need a lot more than that. Say, for example, you got laid off. How long do you think it would take you to find another job if you're working? So what, 6 months, longer? So now 6 months of operating expenses is a lot. That's more than a lot of us have an emergency fund. But what we want to tell everybody is that if you have a lot in there, it's not too much, okay? So a lot in your emergency fund, this is what happens. Somebody gets fired, someone loses a job, your business downsizes, the people that own the place where you work, they sell out. I mean, all kinds of bad things can happen to you. And as you get older, you want to make sure that you are doing all that you can to have money to fall back on while you try to get another job. Okay, and then you can see some of those other things, the questions. Randy talked a lot today about what would you use that excess monthly income. In this pretend budget, we've got excess monthly income of $543.42. If you had that much left over, what would you do with it? Okay, so what we're saying is the smart thing to do would be to apply it against that money that keeps, where the debt keeps growing. And that's the credit cards that have the highest interest rate. Okay, now we're on the fourth and last page. And let me stop here and say, Randy, do you want to touch up anything I just said?
Okay, emergency funds, the gurus say 2 to 3 months. Higher, you know, you're looking at investing some of that and getting a turnover on it. To pull money from, say you had a 401k and you get in a hardship, it's going to take you several weeks to get it. And if you've got an emergency fund, and if it's going to eat your emergency fund up, you probably will have to take a hardship out of your 401k. there is, but if you don't have nothing, like 401k or a brokerage account or something, then yeah, you need a big emergency fund. Or, some way of keeping, some place that you're keeping your money. Emergency funds, and like I say, you can get inventive with them. You can use a 3-month CD rollover and at least make 2.5%, or two to 2.5. First Federal down here is giving 2.53 on a 14-month CD. $1,000 minimum. Most CDs are usually run to $1,000, but you can get inventive with emergency funds. If you got 6 months emergency funds stored up, you can start rolling them CDs and at least make some money with it. So it's good, good way to increase your wealth also.
Excuse me. All right, Randy, would you go to this last page and walk us through those columns? Now, this is the page where the columns read, let me see, this would be the horizontal columns read income, bills, and balance. Can you explain what those columns, what those numbers mean and what we might do with them?
Income, of course, coming off page 1, we had income, we figured, in this mock budget, we had an income of $4,820. That's the income. Now bills, monthly bills, we got $3,006. We know those are coming due that month. A yearly bill divided by 12, which comes off page number 2, comes up to $320. And unplanned, that's like your car repairs. You don't know if it's coming or not. You might as well plan for it. That come up about $950. And then we start out $4,820, and then we minus our monthly bills, that leaves $1,813. We minus our yearly bills, gonna leave us $1,493, and then we minus our unplanned, it's gonna leave us about $543. You set your budget up the way you want to set it up, the way you understand. This works for me. But this is just a mock budget. You set your budget up that works for you. And if there's any questions, or you just can't get it together, I'll be happy to go one-on-one, Williams. Anybody that wants to go one-on-one, and it will be confidential, you can be sure of that. So,
Okay.
any way that we can help. Now, I'm not the only one. There's some more people that are very good with budgets besides me. So, I'm not the only one that can do it. So,
All right, let's make sure we've got this now. Everybody, you remember we talked about our excess monthly income, the money that was left over, and we kept asking, well, what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? And a lot of people said they'd go on vacation. Other people said I'd put it on high interest rate bills. Now, that's the same $543.42 that you see as the last number on the last sheet. So what Randy's done is it's almost like he's balanced his checkbook. He's balanced his budget to show you that, you can nail it. And that's a good feeling when you know that all of your numbers balance. Okay? So that is the same amount. All right. Anybody else? Any questions tonight?
comments.
All right. Okay. Y'all good? Okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna hog the camera. All right, let me make sure. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm gonna talk to the people in this room and also to the people watching by video. I wanna say thank you for watching this. This has gone on about 45 minutes. And so feel free to go back, look at it over and over again. Got to remind you, check your email and you'll be able to pick up the very same papers that everyone in the sanctuary has had tonight. And you can look at what this pretend budget, how it was put together. You can study it this week and come next week with questions. Now, here's what I want to do next week. I want to have a budget workshop. Now, what that means is I want you to make out your own budget. If you've done it before, great, you can help everybody else. But we would like for you to take these papers home, okay? Take them home. Don't want to leave them here. We want to take them home. and you want to start working on your own categories, what do you spend money on? If you don't know, then try to make a guesstimation, right? Now, we'll talk about tracking money, what you spend on in a real technical way next week. But what we want you to do, if you don't know where your money goes, just take a look at where you spend money. Think about how much do I spend on clothes? How much do I spend on electricity? How much money do I make? So that you know that if you're overspending, well, you'll be able to see that you have a problem. And we will help you with numbers. Now, we don't need to see your numbers, but if you want us to come by and look at the numbers on your budget, we'll be glad to help you with that. And we'll do it all together so that if anybody's got any questions, I don't know how that makes sense, we'll be able to stop and spend some time with you and tell you what we're talking about. Going to give you a website to take a look at, everydaydollar.com, everydaydollar.com. And for those of you who use cell phones or tablets quite a bit, I understand that this is a free budgeting resource so that you can actually go through and set up your categories and take this out with you when you go shopping, and you can make sure that you stay on track, that you don't overspend. And we understand, again, it's a free resource, so check that out. We'll talk about it next week. The other thing is, we want you to come if you need to bring paperwork with you, like your water bill, electric bill, if you want to bring your pay stubs, whatever. If you want to be that technical about it, go ahead and bring those in. We'll help you to put the numbers in a paper and pencil budget for you, and we'll do it right here in the sanctuary together. And when you leave here, you'll be able to go, yeah, that's how I track my money. Yeah, that's how I'm going to make sure I spend money on purpose. And let's just remember that the point of all of this is to give you peace of mind and to know that you are free. So you're able to give to God and not go, well, I hope I don't bounce this week, so that you're able to spend money on your kids and feel like, yeah, I've not overspent, but yeah, I've taken care of them. And just the freedom to feel like you're not a victim of money. Hey, we love you tonight. We thank you so much for coming. Thank you to everybody that's in the sanctuary tonight. And again, feel free to call us with any questions. God bless you. Have a great evening.